ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामने गौरतुसे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So we welcome everyone for today's discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. So from today we are starting first chapter, verse number first. So till now, from last 1.5 months, about 1.5 months, we discussed some basics of spiritual life, and then we also discussed from Gita Mahatmya, 7 verses. The Gita Mahatmya is given by Lord Shiva himself. He stated importance and glories of Bhagavad Gita. So now we are starting Bhagavad Gita itself. So before starting the first verse, so I'll just summarize the first chapter. So in Bhagavad Gita, there are 18 chapters. I think all of you must be knowing there are 18 chapters in Bhagavad Gita. So out of which the first chapter is introductory, in which the military arrangement of Battle of Kurukshetra is explained, and then in the half of 50% of the first chapter explains the military arrangement of uh, Battle of Kurukshetra, and half of the first chapter describes how Arjuna got into lamentation after observing the armies, especially opposite party armies. Arjuna got bewildered, and he becomes affected with bodily consciousness, also known as Dehatma Buddhi. So Arjuna then playing the part of a normal conditioned soul like us. He plays the part of our behavior, and he becomes influenced by material disease known as Dehatma Buddhi, bodily consciousness, considering himself to be body. And because of this bodily consciousness, bodily conception of life or material conception of life, Arjuna was experiencing a great lamentation, fear, anxiety, depression, and and he was losing hope, uh, and he was declining to execute his duty. So that was his condition. Although capable, she became completely demoralized, demotivated, and he decided, I will not fight, which was his dharma, which was his duty, specifically assigned by the Supreme Lord himself. So seeing this condition of Arjuna, so Krishna then started explaining the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. So in the first chapter, so we'll in the first half of the portion, we'll understand what are the military arrangements of Pandavas and Kauravas, and what is the mentality of Duryodhana, and how he's feeling fear because of the presence of the Supreme Lord Krishna in front of him with Pandavas. So what fear he experienced, and what is his mentality, and what did he decide to do after observing this. And on the other hand, then who all are present to associate or to fight on the from the side of Duryodhana, and who all are present from the side of Pandavas to fight against Kauravas, and what are their mentality, what is their status. So all these things will be covered in the first half till verse number from first to verse number 22, 25. Tak. And then after verse number 24, 25, Arjuna, when he comes in front of the armies of Kauravas, especially the Rath or chariot was placed in front of Bhishma and Dronacharya, and seeing them in front, Arjuna becomes afflicted with this material consciousness, material conception, thinking. Arjuna was, he started identifying with his body, and he got into such a great illusion and lamentation. And then, because of being influenced by this bodily consciousness, Dehat Buddhi, that means bodily consciousness means considering oneself to be body. We have already discussed that we are not this body, we are a spirit soul. But Arjuna, because of being so much absorbed in bodily consciousness, he he was declining to fight, and he started giving various reasons why he should not fight. So in the later portion of first chapter, Arjuna gives four reasons why he should not fight. He gives four different reasons, and all those reasons he was quoting from different scriptures. Scriptural reasons he gave, not just mental reasons. Scriptural reasons full of logic and reasoning and intelligence. Although Arjuna was in full lamentation, in depression, anxiety, but still, he was such a powerful warrior that he had complete control over his mind and senses. Just see, any person, anybody in this world who is so much afflicted with anxiety, tension, and stress, he cannot actually speak sensibly. Whatever he speaks is it's all nonsense thing. There is no reasoning or logic behind this. They are completely, you can, in another way, you can say they are like mad person, as good as mad person. But Arjuna, although he was so much in depression, anxiety, and stress, so much so that he will explain himself in the first chapter, that so much so that his entire body was perspiring, and tears were flowing from his eyes. His body was shivering because of anxiety, and there was a great burning sensation. Uh, and Brahmati Vichame Mana, his mind was reeling, means just bewildered. He was bewildered completely. But still, when he was giving reasons why he should not fight, because he knew Krishna is very intelligent. So if I just speak, if I just say, no, no, my dear Krishna, I cannot fight, I cannot fight, I cannot kill my relative, I cannot kill my relative. So it will be a great insult. How can he speak like this to a friend in front of his friend? It's a great insult. So Arjuna knew this. So although he spoke this reason also, that these are all my swajana, these are all my relatives. How can I kill Krishna? But then Arjuna would have seen that Krishna is smiling at him for this petty reasons. And Krishna told also in the first few verses of second chapter, Krishna says, uh, त्यक्त्वा this हृदय दौर्बल्यम तुच्छ त्यक्त्वा उत्तिष्ठ परन्तप क्षुद्रम हृदय दौर्बल्यम त्यक्त्वा उत्तिष्ठ परन्तप क्षुद्रम means insignificant, petty weakness of heart. Just give it up, Arjun. This is all your weakness of heart. This is insignificant weakness of heart. Klavyam maisgama partha na tattva. Give up this importance, Krishna says. Yeah, to say a Kshatriya, warrior Kshatriya, especially like Arjuna, if somebody says you are important, so it's a great insult. But Krishna said, yeah, Klavyam, that you are important, not important, important. Important means a person who cannot produce children. So impotency. So Krishna told like this, Arjuna, that you don't give up this impotency and Act like a man. Act like a man. You are a man. You are not a woman. You are, especially you are a Kshatriya. How can you speak like this? So this is all your insignificant reasons. Kshudram, Hriday Daurbalyam. Hriday Daurbalyam is a weakness of heart. This is your weakness of heart. You are crying in front of your relatives. You are not, you are a Kshatriya. You are a man. How can you cry like this? And Arjuna was practically crying. He was crying like anything. And just like a woman when because that is their nature, they have so much emotions, so they cannot tolerate, so they immediately start crying, and that is good also. I'm not criticizing, but that is good for devotional service to Krishna. That's why women class of people, girls and women, they very easily get devoted to Krishna, and they can very easily develop love or bhav for Krishna. And for a man, it's very difficult. They go on chanting for many years. Still, not a drop of tears falls from their eyes. But women and girls, they have this bhav. They are emotional. So if they are properly directed, trained to direct their emotions towards Krishna, then that can make them progress faster than man. But in case of we are discussing in material sense, so Krishna was telling that you are not a woman, you are not a means a brahmana. Brahmana also he cannot tolerate. He cannot actually stand in front of this great army soldiers. Brahmana, although a Brahmana, he can control his mind and senses completely, and he can tolerate any kind of insult. But a Brahmana cannot tolerate physical pains, and all these things. He cannot see blood flowing. He will become afraid. That is a Brahmana's quality. And Kshatriyas, they become more inspired when they see the blood coming out of their own body. When a Kshatriya is hurt in the battlefield, and when he sees his own blood coming out of his body, he becomes more and more inspired to fight. Whereas a Brahmana, even if he sees a single drop of blood, he becomes fearful. But he can control his mind and senses very well. So these different psychologies are there. So nothing is bad, nothing is good in this material world. But whatever anybody may have, a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, a man or woman, if everything can be utilized in the service of Krishna. Just like I said, a Kshatriya, they have their nature is very brave, so they can tolerate physical pains, and they become very much enthusiastic for fighting and arguments. So this tendency can be utilized for the service of Krishna, and in this way they can attain perfection. Whereas a Brahmana, he is a simple-hearted person. He can control his mind and senses, but he cannot tolerate bodily pains. So in this way, he can, being very soft in nature, tolerant, peaceful, forgiving, silent, grave, uh, so soft in nature. So these qualities can be utilized in the service of Krishna. And similarly, it applies for women. Also, they have very emotional feelings. So, and Krishna, who can be a better person to exchange our emotions with? Krishna is the supremely most lovable personality in the entire creation. And if you go through the pages of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and Bhagavatam, we find Krishna many places. Krishna, he cries a lot because of being influenced by the love and affection for his devotees. That is the nature of the Supreme Lord. Nobody else can be so much emotional than the Supreme Lord himself. Because Krishna is Supreme Lord, that's why everything, he is supreme in everything. He is supreme in everything. In expressing emotions, he is supreme. In fighting, he is supreme. In killing, he is supreme. In loving, he is supreme. In everything, all the aspects. In stealing, he is supreme. Everything. In singing, he is supreme. In dancing, he is supreme. In talking wonderfully, he is supreme. In beauty, he is supreme. So everything, whatever, so many, 64 qualities are there. We have already discussed. So those who have not attended, they can go through YouTube channel. There is playlist. 64 qualities of the Supreme Lord Krishna. In detail, we have discussed each and every quality, how Krishna exhibits and how he has exhibited in the past. So anyway, the main point is, so Arjuna was giving so many reasons, filled with reasons and intelligence and scriptural arguments. So in the first chapter, till then, Arjuna gives 4 reasons why he should not fight, all fully based on scriptures and logical reasons, not illogical reasons. But and then in second chapter, when Krishna spoke like this, that you are like why you are showing impotency, and you just give up this petty weakness of heart and get up, stand up and fight. Krishna told like this. Then Arjuna became perplexed. He said, "My Lord, what he has said. I'm not important, my dear Krishna. You don't say like this. I can kill everyone. I can fight with Lord Shiva also. I have fought also. And Arjuna fought with Lord Shiva also. That's why, being pleased by the strength of Arjuna, Lord Shiva gave him Pashupatastra. Every one of us we know how Arjuna fought. Alone Arjuna fought in the battlefield of Virat, in the battle of Virat. Arjuna was alone, and that Virat Putra, he was there. And Arjuna fought alone all the Kauravas, including Bhishma, Drona, Karna, Vikarna, Duryodhan, and Kripacharya, Dronacharya, all big Maharathis. And Arjuna alone, he defeated everyone. Nobody could conquer Arjuna. But he left them. He did not kill them. He said, we will meet again in the great battle of Kurukshetra. So, Arjuna had already showed his prowess, his strength, his chivalry, his bravery. He was fearless. Arjuna was such a great warrior. But when Krishna told like this, then Arjuna gave two very powerful reasons, two more reasons why he is declining to fight. He's not declining to fight because of being fearful. He's not declining to fight because he's important. He's a great warrior. He has full strength and vigor and bravery. He can fight. But why is declining? He gives two more very powerful reasons in the beginning of the second chapter. But even after giving these two reasons, and in 4 reasons in the first chapter, Arjuna was not satisfied. Arjuna still he was perplexed. Still he could not overcome the anxiety or stress or depression within his mind, because still he was confused whether I should fight or not fight, because fighting for the right cause is my dharma, and especially my dear friend Krishna is inspiring me and telling me, and Krishna cannot be wrong. Arjuna knew this, so he was perplexed that at one side it is my duty to fight. Krishna is also telling me to fight, and also my wife was insulted, and for her I have to fight. So I cannot neglect to fight, but still, because I have to fight with my own grandfather Bhishma, my own teacher Dronacharya, and so many other relatives are there. So how can I kill them? So it was a great perplexity for Arjuna. So finally, he understood that nothing can help me, nobody can help me except and save and accept the Supreme Lord Krishna himself. So then he finally surrenders to Krishna. So in the verse number 7 of second chapter, Arjuna surrenders. Then Krishna started explaining Bhagavad Gita from verse number 11 onwards. And Krishna is the supreme doctor, very expert doctor. As soon as the patient, Arjuna, approached him, what was the disease? Mental disease. Arjuna had a great disease, which every one of us have, but with no solution. No doctor in this material world can solve this particular disease. What is that? Mental disease. Mental dilemma, mental anxieties, flickering nature of mind, disturbances of mind, and most of the time, even our own, we cannot understand why my mind is disturbed. What to speak of others? Nobody can understand the functioning of mind. It's so complicated. Nobody can understand. Not at all possible. There's a short joke I'll just mention. Don't mind. So once a person, she prayed to God, my dear Lord, please help me. So the Lord appeared and asked, okay, yes, what do you want? So he said, I want to build a bridge, 100 kilometers wide, 100 kilometers a long bridge I want to make. So the Lord said, no, not possible. I cannot bridge. I cannot make. This desire cannot be fulfilled. So the man said, then the man asked, okay, okay, no problem. At least tell me something. He said, I want to understand the nature of my wife. At least you tell me that. So the Lord said, okay, what was your first question? What was your first task? Give me, I can do that, but I cannot explain that. So in this way, it's very difficult to understand the nature of somebody else. Huh. Especially in the Bhagavatam, it is mentioned, nobody can understand nature of anybody mind's nature. Mind is so flickering. uh, Mind becomes disturbed with so many reasons, sometimes with so many petty reasons. And in this age, especially this age is Kali Yuga, age of quarrel and hypocrisy, and lot of misunderstandings. And a lot of there is relationship breakups are there. Why? The root cause is misunderstanding, miscommunications, and too much understanding. Too much understanding means unnecessary speculation, unnecessary doing speculation. Why he said like this? Why he acted like this? Uh, why didn't he respond to me? So many speculation goes on, and in this way, misunderstanding develops, and then there is breakups in the relationship, and minds become disturbed. So nobody can actually understand the functioning of mind. So if nobody can understand, so where is the possibility to make to find some solution? Only and only only there is only one personality who can properly not only understand but who can actually help us, and that is the Supreme Lord, Krishna, because he is present within our heart, very close to our soul, very close to our mind. In fact, it is said that uh, before getting any desire within our mind, uh, the first person who comes to know about our desire is the Supreme Lord. First, he comes to know what we are going to desire, and then afterward, we come to know what is my desire. So that much closeness Krishna has with us, the Supreme Lord, who is living within our heart as Paramatma Super Soul. So now you just imagine, only he can save us, he can help us. So that's why he's perfect doctor. He's perfect psychologist, perfect doctor, and he has the perfect treatment also. So Krishna immediately could understand what is the problem with Arjuna, why his mind is disturbed, why he is not feeling motivated to fight. So Krishna could very easily detect the problem, and he diagnosed it. And even Arjuna could not understand. But Krishna, first of all, told him that this is your problem. You understand? And then he started giving the solution. So, what was the problem? What was the problem? Can anybody tell? What was the result of diagnosis of Krishna? Krishna did a uh, blood test, blood test on the spot, blood test was done by Krishna, and he immediately gave the report. This is the problem. This is the disease. Arjuna was having a disease, great disease. What was that disease? Yes, can anybody tell? Nobody knows? Yes, go. And
False
attachment?
ego.
Yeah, very nice. Good. False ego. So false ego. So what does false ego means? False ego means sense of identification. And false ego means wrong identification. So Arjuna was wrongly identifying himself with this body. So in the name of this disease in Sanskrit is Dehatma Buddhi, Deha plus Atma plus Buddhi. Considering oneself to be body is Dehatma Buddhi, is the disease which every one of us have. And because of this only, we get into illusion, moha. And because of this only, we become perplexed in our life. We become mentally diseased, demotivated, disturbed. All those things happen because of this one single disease, Dehatma Buddhi, considering or identifying oneself with this body. So identifying oneself with this body means thinking oneself to be this gross body and thinking oneself to be this mind also. That's why as soon as somebody somebody may say you that, oh, you are very ugly person, or you are very naughty boy, or you are very means stubborn, you are very aggressive, you don't know how to speak, or you are very demotivating to me, and like this somebody may tell us. So we think that, oh, I'm like this, how can he tell like this to me? Huh? So we become very disturbed because of this means insults or opinions of others, because we think ourselves with this body and mind. Even if it, suppose if somebody insults us or says something to us, and even if it is true, so that is not true for me. He is telling about my body, either this gross body. Who is ugly? This gross body is ugly. I am not ugly. Similarly, if somebody says, you are so handsome, you are so beautiful. So he's not telling to me, he's telling to this body. This body may be handsome or ugly. This body may be beautiful or ugly, but I am not handsome, beautiful, or ugly. So where will be the question to become depressed, or where will be the question to feel oneself superior? There will be no question like this. And similarly, somebody may say, "Oh, you are so stubborn, you are so aggressive, or you are like this, so and so, so so." So all these things are opinions with regards to mind, with regards to intelligence, not with me. I am not like this. You understand? Somebody may say you are a fool number one, but I am not fool number one. My intelligence is fool number one. I have less intelligence. So, but I'm not this body, gross body. I'm not this mind. I'm not this intelligence. Very clear. It's very simple. Immediately one can overcome all kinds of material disturbances. No disturbances can come to a person who is fully aware that I'm not this body, I'm not this mind, I'm not this intelligence. I'm a spirit soul, completely aloof from all kinds of material conditioning. So where will be the question that one gets affected by this bodily consciousness? But we are in at present we are in this bodily consciousness. That's why we feel. So as we properly progress in the understanding of Bhagavad Gita, and not only just information or understanding, as we practice the teachings of Bhagavad Gita, the sadhana bhakti, as we do, especially chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So gradually we come to the realization, we realize ourselves that we are not this body. This body is just a vehicle, and this body is just an instrument to be used for certain purpose. And this body is like this shirt. So how does it matter if my shirt gets torn and worn and old? So it doesn't make any difference. I will change the shirt, wear new shirt. Why to become depressed over the this condition of the shirt? So it will not matter when we are fully situated in that spiritual platform. So that's why Krishna is started speaking very nicely, very beautifully. Started speaking science of soul, science of reincarnation, and difference between body and spirit soul. And in this way, Krishna brought Arjuna, and he practically dragged Arjuna from bodily consciousness and uh, brought him to the spiritual platform. In this way, Arjuna could overcome this. So Arjuna was just a medium. From through Arjuna, Krishna wants us to become free from bodily conception of life. So that is a summary of first chapter, and I also gave a half of the summary of the second chapter. So from tomorrow onwards, we'll start verse by verse in detail. We'll understand. In the first chapter also, there are many, all the verses. We have great lessons. So please come regularly. Every day we'll try to take one verse and discuss in great length. So thank you very much. Hare Krishna. If there are any questions, you can ask. Yes, Shri Pro.
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji. So my question to you is that means in order to go ahead in spirituality, the first very concrete base uh, of this, the first very concrete base is to surrender yourself towards the God, right?
Yes.
Like till the time the person does not understand that he's not this body, but the part and parcel of the God, he cannot move towards that journey, right?
Yes. That's why Krishna spoke first of all this science of soul.
Yes. Thanks, Prabhuji.
Okay, yes. Any other question? Yes, no question. Please ask some questions. Yes, Ganesh bro.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, how Arjun accepted the Bhagavad Gita from Krishna ji? So
Very
that's
nice.
what.
Arjuna accepted Bhagavad Gita as it is. He did not manipulate. He did not interpret, misinterpret. He simply accepted whatever Krishna told. He simply accepted. Krishna told, "You are not this body." He accepted, "Yes, I am not this body." Krishna told, "You are my part and parcel." He accepted, "Yes, I am your part and parcel." So your duty is to act according to my instruction. Yes, I will act. Karishye vachanam tava. That is proper understanding of Bhagavad Gita. So as it is. That's why as it is. Okay. Yes. Any other questions?